Hello everyone and welcome back to SaiyanSquabbles. I'm yours truly, Papa Ping Pong, here to bring you another card discussion video today featuring the tournament packs we're going to be getting going into set 10. So first off, right off the bat, I do have a giveaway going on the channel. Go check that out. I believe it's the second most recent video I posted, so go check that out. Details are in the description for that, as well as the video itself. We are giving away a booster box along with the 3 starter decks, so go check that out if you haven't already. But anyways, we're going to get into it right away. So our first card we have is Pilaf, Innovative Emperor. He's a 2-drop, 15k auto. When this card is placed in the drop area from a battle area by a skill, choose up to your opponent's battle cards and get minus 10k power for the turn. So this is going to synergize pretty well with the new Pilaf package. He is a 2-drop target, also for the new Vegito Unison. I think he synergizes overall pretty well. Is he mandatory in the new Pilaf stuff? I don't think so, but I still think he's going to be pretty nice, especially being able to swing with them, use a skill to place him in the drop area, and then give 2 things minus 10 just for some basic board removal. So yeah, then we got Son Goku, the Pure Heart. He's a 3-drop. 3 specified red, deflect, 20k. If your leader card is a red Earthling card, and you place this card from, and you place 1 card from your life in the drop area, then add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks a battle card, do 1 damage to your opponent. I think this card is very good, especially with deflect. Its skills can't be negated, and I'm sure there's a bunch of ways to cheat this out. I'm not even considering at the moment, but I really like how they're trying to do this burn damage. This does synergize with the new, or not the new, the set 7 Gohan leader with burn, but I like that this is, you take 2 life to deal 1 damage. I think that is perfectly fair, especially because you don't need to swing at a leader. And this can potentially give you some advantage, especially if it's early game, your opponent's not attacking you, or anything like that. This can also synergize with the old Wish Pilaf leader. You can world peace this guy out. When you play, yeah, because it's just when this card attacks. So you can world peace this guy out with the old Pilaf Wish leader, because the Pilaf leader is an Earthling card. So I think it's going to be very good, and this is one of the cards getting an alternate art as well, so look out for that. So then we got this 2-drop Yamcha the Lawless, 2-drop 15k, 2 specified red, auto. If your leader card is a red Earthling, at the end of your turn, draw 1 card. Active battle once per turn for 2 red energy. This card gets 15k power and double strike for the battle. So that's going to be pretty good, especially if you have a leader that restands 2 when it awakens, like Pan or something like that, like old Pan, and he also gets the draw off of Pan, and this guy basically becomes a threat. And not only can you do it offensively, you can do it defensively if you really want this to survive, especially if, for example, it's against, or not the Goku we saw, because that's just when it attacks a battle card, I believe. But also the auto is not when he's played or anything, so it's at the end of every turn, so your opponent has to get rid of this if they don't want to give you, or if they want to stop you from getting advantage. So if you wanted to, you could just leave this guy on the board and keep drawing. So now moving into the blue cards, we have 1-drop Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku, the Boundless. Auto, if your leader card is a blue Trunks Future card. When this card is played, add 1 card from your energy to your hand, then place... Add 1 card from your energy to your hand, then place the top card of your deck in your energy and rest mode. Wow, okay, I did not realize how good that was until I just read it out loud. That's a 1 cost that ramps 2 energy. Okay. And you don't need to place it in the drop area either. Oh, wow, that is insane. That is... Whew! Okay, I misread. It's add 1 card from your energy to... Okay, I misread that. So that makes this a lot more balanced. For a second, I'm like, this ramps 2? But no, it's a lot more balanced than I thought it was. But this is leader locked, which I think is perfectly fine, especially with the new Trunk strategy. This also, if it does matter, is a Gogeta target for the new, or with the new Vegeta, the 5k blue double strike one. So keep that in mind, and I think that's going to synergize very well with adding stuff into your energy and unioning and stuff off of that. This can also put you over the edge for that free Gogeta or Vegito union from your hand if you're like, man, I just need to get this last extra bit of energy, or maybe risk another target or something like that. So this one is probably my favorite tournament pack, I have to say. So it's Super Saiyan 2 Trunks Heroic Prospect, 3-drop 15k, counter attack, negate the attack, then play this card. Permanent, during your opponent's turn, if you have a blue unison card in play, reduce the energy cost of the card in your hand by 2. Auto, when this card is played, your opponent can't attack with battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy for the turn unless they choose 2 cards from their hand and place in the bottom of their deck in any order. I really like this card a lot, but I don't know how good it's going to be outside of like the Vegix matchup, because a lot of stuff is going to be, a lot of decks are going to be using Unison. So this guy, but this guy does become a 1-cost negate that allows you to have another 15k beater on board and is an evolved target for Trunks, for the older Trunks boss monsters. But again, we're going to be seeing the Unison Goku running around, and or not the Unison, the Surge Goku running around Invoker. He doesn't really bring out stuff early, and this guy doesn't ignore Unison cards. However, at least there is no specified cost to reduce this guy's energy cost in your hand. So if you played a 2-cost Unison, Awakened, potentially Restood, you can play this guy for 1 energy. And it's basically a backwards or a topo with a few extra steps, but I think that's perfectly fine and perfectly fair, especially because it is just a 1-cost in blue. Energy manipulation is so powerful, especially with the new Vegito leader. So this guy is going to be great. I don't know about this format, but I think this guy will always be considered when building a deck. This will help quite a bit against Vegix at the very least. So we got Vegeta the Fortifier, 1-drop 5k blue, active battle, once per turn. Choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. This card gets plus 10k power for the battle. At the end of the turn, switch 1 of your mono blue energy to active mode. So if you have like a dead card in hand, like maybe you already used your once per turn Unison effect, you can ditch a card, give him plus 10k, and just restand 1. But this is active battle, so you have to make sure the attack goes off first. And this is a target for Gogeta, like we were saying, and more targets for the energy ramping stuff. He's not, or energy ramping, unioning from your energy, etc., etc. He's not great, but I think he can be a good tech card, especially against Vegix and stuff, because you can play this guy, discard, and then potentially have a beam for next turn. So Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, Soaring Blow, 5-drop, 2 specified blue, 20k, Union Potara, Blue Son Goku, Blue Vegeta. You can choose cards in your energy when choosing cards with when choosing cards to use with this card's Union skill from your hand. Auto, when this card is played, choose 2 your opponent's battle cards and place them on the bottom of the owner's deck in any order. So this gives you another choice to another Vegito target to Union into, as contrast to the other Vegito 5-drop Deflect. So basically you get something with spot removal, and this does not have a prerequisite for the amount of energy you need to have to use his Union skill. So you could theoretically use this guy turn 2 if you really wanted to. Would you be out of energy? Probably. But, and you get a little bit of spot removal plus a 20k swing. So it's like, do you want protection? Do you want that spot removal? Like, you gotta choose. But I think running 3-3, if you're really trying to go that full Vegito strategy, especially because this guy is not dead in hand, would be a good choice. Or, you know, just sideboarding some additional ones. And this is not leader locked either, so if you just run a deck with Blue Son Gokus and Blue Vegetas, you can side this to get rid of your opponent's threats. So moving on to the green, we got Ginyu, Captain of the Elite. Counter attack, or he's a 3-drop, 10k. Counter attack, negate the attack when play this card. Permanent, during your opponent's turn, if you have a green Unison card in play, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2, so he becomes a 1-cost. Auto, when this card is played, add up to 1 green Freeze's army card with 9k power or less from your drop area, add to your hand. If you do, choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. So of course, this synergizes perfectly with the Dodoria. You can add something from your drop area to your hand that's 9k or less, which is quite a few Frieza targets, I believe. And then you can discard the Dodoria, then play the Dodoria, so you're not minusing. I don't think he's great. I think he's fine. There's just a bunch of other targets, or a bunch of... The green Frieza deck is going to be fighting for space a lot right now. So, we got next 2-drop 5k, so this is a target for Ginyu. Zarbon Cosmic Elite, a blocker, active main for 1 green. Choose 1 green card in your hand and discard it. Play this card from your drop area. Again, synergizes with the Dodoria. And then auto, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand and this card is removed from the battle area by a skill or KO'd, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. So this is a very, very oppressive hand control. For 1 energy, you can play this guy from your drop area. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in hand, you can use your leader effect to KO him, and your opponent has to discard a card. So you're basically consistently keeping them at 4 cards, and this does synergize with green Frieza. So or not green, yellow golden Frieza if you run a green-yellow build. So this guy can be random that, and if you can just play this guy from your drop area, especially since this is not once per turn, and just fill your board with blockers. So we got 4-drop Frieza, or Swift Massacre Frieza, 3 green, 20k, deflect. When this card is played from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. Permanent, if you have 5 or more green battle cards in your drop area, reduce the cost of the card in your hand by 1. So it becomes a 3-drop 20k with deflect, and it KO something, ignoring barrier if you play it from your hand. Also, though, this is a target for the 2-drop green Frieza, the other 3rd form Frieza. So keep that in mind. I think it's going to be pretty good, just period. So 1-drop Dodoria, the boastful, active main once per turn. This card gets plus 11k power for the turn. Cool. Auto, if your leader card is a green Frieza card. When this card is KO'd, add up to 1 green unison card at the specified cost 2 from your drop area to your hand. So this is great recursion, because a big issue with unison cards is you play 1 turn 2 and your opponent can just swing into it and you basically can't do anything, so it's got no defensive steps. So you can always recover it with this Dodoria if you really wanted to. Getting plus 11k, you know, it's nice to be able to just threaten unison cards, because it's no cost. It's basically just going to be a 15k at all times during your turn. So it's a threat to unison and leaders. So moving on to yellow, we got 3-drop Super Saiyan Trunks, Prime for Fusion, 3-drop 15k, active main if your opponent has 4 or more cards in rest mode, and you only have Sun Goten GT cards in play or no battle cards in play. Play this card from your hand, and you can only play battle cards using Union Fusion skills for the turn. Auto at the end of your turn, return this card to its owner's hand. I think this is good, because it's the only one that's not leader locked, I believe. The only Trunks that's not leader locked, so that's cool, because it gives you the Gotenks engine for other decks. But you never really want to play this guy unless maybe you're trying to steal the game for 15k. And unless we're getting a Patora Gotenks, you know, I don't really see or yeah, it's not even Union Patora, it's just Union Fusion. I don't really see the point to be playing this guy other than a 50k swing. He's fine. The only reason I think he's good is because he's not leader locked. That's the only reason. Then we got the 3-drop Super Saiyan Sun Goten, Prime for Fusion, 15k, counterattack, negate the attack, play this card. During your opponent's turn, if you have a yellow unison card in play, reduce the energy cost of the card in your hand by 2. Auto, choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. At the end of your turn, return this card to its owner's hand. So basically it's recyclable, and the Gotenks, the yellow Gotenks engine does a lot of drop area recursion. So that's not a bad choice, and if you wanted to, you could keep this guy on board and then go into the Trunks afterward. And again, this isn't leader locked, so I think this is definitely better than the Trunks we saw a second ago, and because this is generic. You can run this negate, just do a 1-drop negate that you can keep recovering for any deck, or if you didn't want to, you can keep that as a 15k beater. So Super Saiyan Gotenks, Matchless Fusion, 6-drop, 25k, Union Fusion for 4. Permanent other battle cards at energy cost of 5 or more can't attack. I don't know if, let's say you have 2 of these guys on board, I don't know if that would lock both of these guys in. That's a good question. I don't know if anyone has asked that question. So maybe it's other battle cards other than Gotenks. Anyways, I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. And this is fine. I don't know if you're going to want to be doing this turn 4. This, for me, is more of a turn 3 play. 25k. It's amazing art. This is probably one of the coolest arts out of all of them. But, whatever. So, 3-drop Sin Shenron, Harbinger of Ruin. Deflect, active main once per turn. Choose up to 1 of the cards in rest mode and place them in their drop area. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. Cool. Auto, when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, end up 2 yellow battle cards with 1k power or less from your drop area to your hand. So, if your opponent does choose to remove this, which is, I don't know how valuable it's going to be, because all this is really doing is you're minusing 1 and you're switching something to rest mode. But if it is removed, then you get to bring back 2 Dragon Balls, which is pretty powerful. So now moving on to the black cards, we have Super Saiyan Trunks, Solitary Guardian, Overwhelm 4, 20k. When this card is played using Overwhelm, draw 1 card and it gets plus 5k power for the turn. So it kind of reminds me of Bardock, Awaken Instincts. It's just he draws 1 and gets plus 5k, so at least you don't ever have to neg. and this is a target for Viara, of course, so that's something to keep in mind. I think he's very strong. It's basically, do you want to go more offensive, or do you want to be more defensive, and that will determine whether you choose Bardock Awakened Instincts or Super Saiyan Trunks, in my opinion. So we have Toa Dark Imperial Scientist, Overrealm 2, which is already super strong. 15k, choose one card in your hand, discard it. When this card is played using Overrealm, draw one card, and then choose up to one of your black battle cards and gets plus 5k power for the turn. She can't target herself, so she can be a 20k beater. You draw a card, you minus a card, so you could be getting rid of a Paparoni or something. So theoretically, turn 1 with like Demigra or anything that just bursts 3 or plays 3 in the drop area, like Mass Saiyan, you could get her out for free, then immediately go into a Paparoni, which is pretty cool, I guess. I think she's actually one of my favorite out of all the tournament packs coming out, so I'm pretty excited for her, especially for Mira. If you have a dead like Mira in hand or something, or not Mira, the Toa leader, if you have a dead Mira in hand or something, you can always play her, get rid of it, and yeah. And finally, we have Super Saiyan Vegex Mastery Merged, 5-drop, 24k, Barrier, Yin Potara for 3, Trunk Zeno, Vegeta Zeno. Permanent, you can choose battle cards in your Warp when choosing cards to Union with this card, or choosing cards to Union for this card from your hand. And then permanent, when this card is in rest mode, your opponent's cards at 15k power or more can only attack copies of this card. So this does affect Unison and Leaders. I think this card is good for everything outside of Vegex. The Vegex engine I don't think is really gonna be running any of the Vegex Unison cards. I might do a deck that's more themed around that just for fun. It does have barriers, so a little harder to remove, but this will be good for pretty much any deck that isn't Vegex that runs these that runs black cards. But that's gonna do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not gonna be going over the tournament packs or the winter tournament packs or anything. I'm just gonna wait till the SPRs and the SCRs drop. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to check out that giveaway, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. See ya.